What do you think about the outcome of the votes in the Agriculture Committee?
It's a little bit embarrassing for the European Parliament. When the European Parliament comes to water down the proposals of the Commission that aim at protecting the public benefit, aim at protecting both the environment, citizens and agricultural production, and the European Parliament takes a very conservative stance, it's really something that's a little bit shameful for the Parliament. And it comes just after the vote in the Fisheries Committee of the Common Fisheries Policy, and also in the plenary vote on the Common Fisheries Policy, that on the opposite, that went directly on the opposite direction. It really supported the Commission's proposal in safeguarding that there will be enough fish in our seas in order that we have fishermen and fishing activity, and also the environment protection.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and when it comes to these payments, the direct payments to farmers, what is your feeling like, or would you support that these direct payments should be strictly linked to mandatory greening for farmers?
Of course, I think it's the best that we can do, both for farmers and for all our society, the overall. Just if we see now the deep crisis that Europe is in, and it's a deep competitive crisis. We're not competitive in the products we are producing and trying to export. By keeping a high Greek component, at the same time we manage to improve the quality of our agricultural production. We make our agricultural products again competitive again. We put them back to the shelves of the international citizens, people that need food, high quality food.
And considering the insurance of public and environmental health, would you be voting for direct payments to be also bound to the enforcement of the EU Water Framework and the Pesticides Directive?
I will for sure vote for payments and subsidies to be always directed, directly linked, coupled with respecting the environmental legislation.
Okay, and considering the regional production, if we were to ensure a regional production for the food of European citizens, would you support an adequate funding for rural development and regional activities?
I believe that rural development is one of the objectives of this reform, and supporting rural development is the objective of this reform. And the funds that we allocate to our agricultural policy, it's the funds we allocate to our rural policy. So it's clearly beyond the scope of these policies, goes quite beyond the mere production of food. It's how we green our agriculture, we manage to achieve other targets that are in our policy, environmental targets, and we support the rural areas. It's a rural development fund, apart from the support to our farmers in order that they can continue to produce.
Would you think it would be important to ensure transparency, to have the names of the beneficiaries of these payments, of the EU funds, to be published, and also the amount which has been given to them?
I find this logical. It's public money. It's the way we manage them has to be always based on transparency and accessibility of information.
Okay, so you would be for publishing these names, like to be able to see them?
I will have to see the details of the amendment.
The proposal was against not to be transparent on this point.
I would support transparency. I have to see the details of the amendments before I vote. It's my obligation as a legislator. But the transparency logic is a clear one, and it's very probable that we support.
Okay.
But you know, the devil is always in the details.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
So I cannot commit to something I have not
Yes.
arranged in detail.
Yeah, of course.